Very warm welcome back to Naivasha and the service park, the place where we start, but we'll be heading into a stage very shortly indeed. Myself and Jenny here for the next couple of minutes or so, just have a little chat about the conditions of the next stage. I believe you've been doing some digging around.
Yeah, look, so it's a new stage, isn't it, which is always exciting. It's, again, not traditional Rally Kenya that we're going to get Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's really brutal, really rough, rocky, the things we'd expect. It's kind of a stage that goes between the trees, some tricky braking zones. The first, I think it was about 2.5 kilometres in, there's a couple of mud holes and it's quite wet still. So that's something that the drivers will just have to be aware of. There you go, you can see it's still quite flat. It's more of a test than the first super special that we saw this morning, but it's not indicative of what we're going to see Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So still a stage that we can expect the drivers to push hard on because there's not as big a risk so far as the terrain goes. But yeah, about 3 kilometres in, they've got to be a bit careful because there's some muddy sections.
Well, it's quite interesting through all of these stages. I've been learning about this. There's microclimates. So through all of these stages, there's very different weather conditions, especially through the longer ones. But even through Sleep and Warrior and a couple of the others that we saw yesterday, there's just patches of a lot of water and then just complete dryness the other side. So that just adds another element of madness to this rally. Well, of course, we did see stage one already, as you were just saying, not exactly what we're going to see for the next couple of days. So it's certainly a great showcase down in Nairobi. And it was Elvin Evans that took the charge. And then Thierry Neuville and Kalle Rothenperä basically have the same time. It goes down to like the 100th of a second, which means that Thierry Neuville is currently actually sitting in second, but their time is equal.
Yeah, I mean, it was a great start to the weekend for Elvin Evans. A 1.5 seconds quicker. I mean, that's not insignificant. It says to us that Elvin's comfortable in the car, the Toyota's working for him, and he's confident. And again, that's the kind of stage where you can really attack, you can really push, because you're not risking hitting a rock or a tree or going off the road, because it's safe, so you can do it there. So you can build up a little bit of time, but there's a long way to go. And it's such a diverse rally. I absolutely love this place. What a championship we've got as well. We go from the snow and ice of Sweden, tarmac, to these incredibly brutal stages. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it is going to be an absolutely amazing weekend. I can assure you the drama will be thick and fast. Okay, well, Kalle Rothenperä fastest through shakedown, sitting in third at the moment. We've talked about this already, but if he wants to really make a push on his championship title fight, which he made very clear at the beginning, I think, to Julian Porter in Monte Carlo, he said, I'm a 2-time world champion, soon to be 3-time world champion. He wants this for sure. He needs to make the impression here, though. Yeah,
for sure. He's hungry. I mean, look, it's difficult for Kalle because you can't afford to go absolutely flat out. You'll break something. So he needs to drive smart. What he's got to do is make sure he scores points. That doesn't necessarily mean winning the rally, and because this isn't like a Finland where you can go out, you can aim to win the rally and aim to score maximum points on the power stage as well, and on Sunday. This is not like that. Kalle's got to drive intelligently to just make sure he bags points, and once he has scored points, I think once we go into the more traditional gravel rallies, that's when he can afford to take more risks. He can't really here. He's got to bag some points, you're absolutely right, but I don't necessarily think he can afford to go absolutely flat out to try and win the thing.
Well, through that lush Greenland that you're seeing as our second stage of the day, that is our zero car running through. Really is surprising to see so much green down there, because as you get to Sleep and Warrior, it is more like a desert out there. So really interesting to see that those microclimates have affected the different stages. That stage on the way. If the zero car is running through, we're almost at the action, which you're going to take us through on the English commentary with PK, I think, as well.
Yeah, that's right. And you mentioned that grass as well. It's because we've had quite a lot of rain. So obviously the rain and the sunshine, it's made the grass grow. The key thing for us and for the drivers that they've got to be careful of is it makes it very slippy, particularly under braking. So you're absolutely right. That grass, that greenery is just something that the drivers will just have to be aware of when they're jumping on the brakes. Okay,
well, it's going to be an exciting one. These guys will take you through. But let's check in with what a few of our drivers did before the rally started at an elephant orphanage. Seems like they had a lot of fun out there. And I was just teasing you with the elephant orphanage. It is wonderful, and you will see it throughout the weekend. Taka certainly had the best time there. So a few of those video clips that are going to be coming in to show you throughout the weekend. This was done pre the rally, but we are now in the thick of the serious business of heading towards stage 2. Now, Julian Porter actually in the stage. He sent us some messages in. There's some heavy mud patches, and that probably is representative of the rain that we've seen. We've had 2 big downpours. The stage not far away, at all, because I've just seen the Zero car coming in here to the service park. Just gives you an idea of the context of how close that stage is to us. Okay, well, at the moment, it is Elfyn Evans leading our rally by 1.5 seconds. Let's see what he can do here. The battle will certainly be on. He's 28 points clear in the championship title race, but it is all important to secure as many points as you possibly can. This is going to be a tough one. All right, well, let's hand over to our commentators around the world to take you through our second stage of Safari Rally Kenya.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Kiri. So we do indeed move on to the first full stage, let's call it. Another change to the itinerary. No need to wait until Friday morning. We're straight into the real stuff already now on Thursday evening with this new Mizabibu test. It's just over 8 kilometres. We saw a few images just earlier, didn't we, how green it was, this brand new stage. It's in the Morandat Farm vineyard, so very much designed with a lot of the fans in mind. We're just 10 kilometres or so outside Navasha town. Lots of great viewing points for the fans to get really right amongst it. Tiny technical at times, and as ever, there'll be a bit of everything in terms of the road surface. We've already heard some reports of the water around and what that's done to the road surface. So this will challenge the drivers as they push through these winding farm tracks. This is the first of 2 runnings. We'll be back in action again here on Sunday. And Chenny, you've been alongside me earlier down in Nairobi. Nice, isn't it, this new itinerary? We don't have to wait until Friday to get into the real stuff, as the local wildlife are going to get a really close-up view as well. Some rhinos around. We just saw some of the drivers enjoying their own safari a couple of days ago. So, yeah, what do we make of this one, Chenny? It's nice to see a freshened up route this year, and something certainly to get them tested out there already this evening on Thursday night.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're right. As we look at the road order, Elfyn Evans will kick off the action, followed by Caleb Perez, gone back to championship order for this stage compared to what we saw earlier on. But yeah, look, it's a nice stretch of road, shall we say, on the way back to the service park from Nairobi. So why not use it, you know? And I think it makes sense to run a stage. Again, it's not really rutted up. It's not particularly rough. It's quite technical between the trees. There are, I think, like I said, between 2.5 and 3 kilometres in, it gets very, very wet. There's some muddy patches, some mud holes. So plenty of places to get caught out. And this is the grass I was talking about. The grass has really grown. So just got to be aware. There you go. This is what I mean. See straight away the car washing out. Elfyn using all of the available space to try and carry some speed as well. But it's a tricky little stage, but again, not like we're going to see Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Remember, as Kiri just mentioned, Elfyn Evans is our early leader, and also, of course, the championship leader as well. Scott Martin, as ever, alongside with the notes. It's that 1.5 seconds advantage, not to be sniffed at after a super special. So good, solid start. Looking at that road as well ahead, Chenny, it is that's that nature of Kenya. We've seen that certainly over the years, going back to the famous McRae. There's another one, McRae image of crossing the field. You can, to a certain extent, not quite to the extreme of a Dakar event, but there's a little bit of flexibility, isn't there, to the route you can take? Yeah,
absolutely. And sometimes you just haven't got a choice. That's what Elfyn just had there. I mean, that's very deliberate what he's done there. So using all of the road and a little bit more just to carry the speed. But sometimes you've got no choice other than to go around a tree. So yeah, there has to be an element of give in the lines that you take, and that'll all be written into the notes as well.
Yeah, we chatted a little bit, didn't we, about, of course, it's the third very different rally in a row. So, of course, that means the first test for the new Hankook gravel tyre. You'd have thought in these sort of conditions the soft tyre, the hard tyre be the... not always used here. Let's just get an update, if we can, from the Hankooks. They've gone out already, haven't they? Yeah, all softs really on most of the guys. Maybe a couple carrying one hard as well. But that's the one thing that's in the balance a bit this weekend, isn't it? Just finding when is the best to use that.
And it's learning for the teams, because you're not allowed to do any international testing. So they haven't. Here we go. This is this mud I was talking about.
Yeah,
and it's very muddy. That's just one of the mud holes. There's a couple more as well. But coming back to the tyre, they're all still learning. The hard compound tyre, or the soft compound tyre, is not as soft as as what we were seeing last year. So everything's a little bit harder. So it's difficult for the teams to judge what tyre to use and when to execute a strategy. They're all learning this weekend.
Yeah, it will heat up, would expect, at some point over the weekends. I'm sure the hards will come into play, but with so much water around, they had a lot of heavy rain earlier in the week. Let's see. Looks like most guys are only carrying one spare, which I guess you'd expect certainly
for these stages, for sure. Yeah, for these stages, for sure. Just punctures are just not a concern. Tomorrow will be interesting to see. For me, it'll be about protecting, looking after the soft tyre. That's going to be the one to be on this weekend. The soft tyre, I think, will be hot property. Yeah.
Of course, limited allocation as we just watch Calais away.
But again, tyre wear on the Super Special we saw this morning, tyre wear on this stage will be minimal. There'll be barely anything on it because we're not going over rocks, we're not going over really rocky ground, rutted, so the tyres will have had an easy life today.
Two-time winner, remember, Kalle Rovanperä. Just confirmation of that, and confirmation, of course, that it has been 4 out of 4, hasn't it, for Toyota since we returned here. The first time in 19 years, of course. The late, great Colin McRae, famously winning a couple of safaris back in the day as well. But yeah, been very much Toyota territory over the last 4 years. Ogier, of course, getting in the mix there as well. As we mentioned, they've had a couple of lockouts at the podium top spots as well. So very much the onus on Hyundai, isn't it, to try and fight back and prove they do have the durability to win here. There is confirmation, yeah, of those soft Hankook tyres, sorry, as you'd expect, on this soft, damp stage. Yeah, it is the stage, the day, sorry, tomorrow. Really expecting the challenge to kick in. Such a long schedule. Loop of 4, don't forget. Total competitive distance of just under 158 kilometres. I mean, it's very much not going to be make or break, but you've got to have a good solid Friday if you've got any hopes of getting a good strong score. Of course, learning the competition levels as well of this Hankook's going to be interesting, isn't it? I mean, obviously they've done the they've done the shakedown, they've done that first stage this morning, but that's still going to be a very much a learning process, isn't it, as we go through these first few stages, just getting to grips with what the limitations are and the competitive, you know, you're talking about the durability, but still such a long, steep learning curve, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure. As I said, you can't do any international testing, so you can only try and go within Europe to mimic, you know, Hyundai, for example. They went to a rally raid test track to try and mimic the conditions that they would get here in Kenya. And again, I don't think durability is going to be the main concern for the teams and drivers. It'll be working out how best to make the tyre work, how best to set the car up to make the tyre work for them. Do you set the car up a little bit softer to try and counteract the fact that the tyre is a little bit harder? And I'm not talking about the compound. The compound is harder in itself, but I mean the way the tyre works, the way the tyre moves. It's a little bit stiffer. So those are all the things that the teams are having to take into consideration. How do we set the car up? How do we get the best out of the tyre? And then when you are running the soft tyre, if it's really high temperatures and really rough, how do you then protect the tyre from you know, you don't want to destroy it. So it's about making the tyre work for you and increasing the longevity of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that, of course, is great news, isn't it? Having the more durable tyre for a rally like this. I mean, they'll certainly be appreciating that. We don't want the rallies to be spoiled by any tyre issues, so that's credit to Hankook. Yeah, that's a stat that surprised me, actually, when I double-checked that earlier. Yeah, 5th place is his best result in 4 attempts for Thierry here. I mean, I know they've been unlucky a couple of times, haven't they? Certainly.
Kenya's been a real bogey rally for Hyundai, you know, and let's hope that they can get that monkey off their back this weekend and take the fight to Toyota. I actually think M Sport have scored more points since we've been coming back to Kenya than Hyundai have. So that's not a performance thing. It's just been a reliability and at times unlucky. So they'll be looking to get that monkey off their back this weekend.
They certainly will. And there we go then. Evans, rally leader and championship leader, getting through that 8.27 kilometres in 6:47.8. Sadly, as you're hearing, we're not expecting to even attempt to speak to the drivers at the end of this one. Just give them a bit of a break while this issue's ongoing for now. So it was a bit of a shame, but you can see that was a good, tidy run. It's a nice little challenge here, isn't it? Opens out. It's got some pretty rapid sections in here as well.
Calais at 3 kilometres, 1.8 seconds faster than Elvin Evans. So already he's ahead of him on the in terms of the overall classification by 3/10.
Yeah, we mentioned a little bit earlier, didn't we? Just speculating ahead about the fact that road position really isn't much of an issue, and it's certainly, you wouldn't have thought, be much of an issue in here. It's slightly damp surface, and clearly Calais proving that is certainly the case. But I mean, maybe Elvin would disagree with that, as he's a little bit slower into this opening stage. Let's see this next split. Yeah, it's still going his way. It's pretty close though. 1.3 seconds in it after 6 kilometres.
Calais dropped half a second to Elvin Evans now, so the overall standings sways back in the advantage of the Welshman.
Looks relatively flat, this surface at times, but I mean, I guarantee, I mean, the suspension's so good, it just absorbs, I think, all the bumps and jumps that you're feeling underneath the car here. I think if you were in a regular road car, you'd certainly be feeling how rough these stages can be.
Yeah, and this is nothing compared to the car braking terrain we're going to see over the weekend. This is actually quite smooth what they're dealing with right now. But you're right, the suspension technology is phenomenal, and what it can soak up and the way that the suspension allows the car to put the power down as well is incredible. So, but for sure, it's going to have a hard time over the next 72 hours.
Certainly will. Very nice for the drivers though, isn't it? I mean, it's such a long day all the way down to Nairobi for all the opening ceremony and all that kind of thing. Lots of autograph signing interviews to get done, and of course that super special stage. It's kind of nice in a way just to get just a little sort of shake off the rust properly. We're back up here in Navasha before we get into the big stuff, because it's such a long day just driving all the way down to Nairobi and back up again without a little bit of an icebreaker, let's call it, getting in here. Yeah, there you can see that split time fluctuation. Calais now 1.3 seconds.
That 1/10 of a second that you saw is him slower than Thierry Neuville.
Yeah.
So Thierry just 1/10 of a second faster than Calais Rovanpera at 3 kilometres. Rovanpera though goes 3 seconds faster than Elvin Evans.
Yeah, it really was a big swing, wasn't it, towards the end? And maybe there is a little bit of road sweeping, who knows? You can't obviously ask the drivers at this stage what their thoughts are on that. I mean, he did say to me yesterday, Elvin, that it very much will change with every passing stage. Some sections may sweep a little bit. He may have an advantage sometimes, who knows? But, yeah, certainly looking good, though. The early pace of the Hyundais.
I think this is the sort of stage that will get a little bit quicker, because as you create ruts here, it actually acts as almost like a bit of a train line. There's a sweet spot. Once it gets really bad, then it gets really bad, and it goes the other way. But
because it can be very soft, this surface, can't it?
Yeah, and it actually gives you a little bit of grip. So particularly in the slower stuff, when you're sliding through the corner and then you want to get the power down on the way out. So I think this is the sort of stage that might actually get a little bit quicker. And the other thing as well is the later runners can see, you know, you were talking earlier about the lines that the drivers are taking. They're taking not necessarily the most traditional lines. There's a little bit of give and take. They can see the lines that the cars ahead of them have been running. So you know, Elvin was opening the road quite clearly for everybody else. Whereas these guys can use those lines.
Yeah, still looking strong here for our world champion. 1.6 seconds up now at 6 kilometres, so really good run. Interesting, isn't it, that Hyundai opting to run the last evolution of the 2024 auction. They do. Oh, that was close.
It happened so easily. Just tipped it up on 2 wheels, and then you get these little banks on the apexes of the corners. Just tipped the car up onto 2 wheels. So Thierry very lucky to get away with that. Won't have lost a huge amount of time either. If you were a photographer at that point, you've just earned your money for the weekend.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, so they opted, I guess for reliability. They had a new car in Sweden, but just opting to run with the 2024, the last evolution of that. But obviously they worked really hard on the durability of it as well, which is pretty sensible in a rally like Kenya.
Yeah, I think there's a bit going on there, isn't there? When you've got a new car, and it's very public you're running a new car, the last thing you want is to be seen to be running a new car and then have a bunch of problems. That psychologically doesn't give off the right message, does it?
Yeah.
But also, you know, you're probably limited on the amount of spares that you've got on the new car, and you, as you quite rightly say, is everything tested?
I guess there's a logistics element as well. You've physically got to get these cars on the move, haven't you? A good couple of months, but he seems to seem quite wild here at times, Thierry. Taking some really interesting lines. It's obviously very, you mentioned that grass, very, very slippy out there. He talks a lot about the grass, actually, as well. He's even talking about, in some of the stages, it's almost a visibility issue as well.
It's gone away from Thierry.
I think there's, I don't know, it just seemed the last few corners.
We need to get a camera down and have a look at all four corners of this car, because this is something's gone wrong.
He did seem to be, you know, moving a lot around the corners. Yes, something very amiss there already for Thierry. That just shows you
couldn't get the car turned into that right-hander. It didn't bite straight away, did it? And it wasn't that he was going too quick and it was understeer. He was inducing understeer. There's something going on there. We'll see if we can have a look.
We saw that, pretty big kicker, wasn't it? I mean, he's yeah, that's a real shame, isn't it? So already 1.6 seconds up to dropping 16 seconds. At least, if there is a positive to take for Thierry, this is just the last stage of the day, just this one short stage. They can get straight down to service this evening. Don't actually have a service until tomorrow morning. They've got a 15-minute service, so work already for Hyundai to get down to there. Anyway, over to Taki Katsuta. Two-time runner-up here in Kenya. Is this to be his year? There's one of these muddy sections. Yeah, it's almost an aquaplaning issue sometimes, isn't it, through these?
The difficult thing for that, through that mud, is getting the car stopped and rotated for the very tight hairpin right.
Yeah.
That comes just after that muddy section. You carry quite a lot of speed into it. Boy, Tanak on an absolute charge, 4.8 seconds faster than Kalle Rovanperä at 6 kilometres. That 3.2 that you can see on your screen is to Thierry Neuville. We know that Thierry in the final couple of kilometres has obviously picked up a problem of some sort. Boy, Tanak at the moment is well on his way to setting the pace in this stage.
Yeah, this is a really strong run from the Estonian. Just hope he can make it through. Obviously, issues for Neuville. Worrying reports from the pre-stage as well that there might be a technical, some sort of issue for Paul Mo, who's, as we're understanding, struggling to get that I-20 started. Hopefully, that's on the way to being resolved.
I tell you, Taka, on my timing screen, Takamoto Katsuta on a flyer as well. 2.6 seconds faster than Kalle Rovanperä at 3 kilometres. Taka's on it. And again, this is the sort of stage that you can take the risk, because there's no hidden rocks, there's no, you know, big banks that you're going to slide off the road into. So you can have a bit of a go through here. There's no big undulations. This stage isn't really trying to break the car like they will do over the next few days.
Yeah, Taka then on it. We know he loves this rally. He's never been outside the top 4. Second, of course, just a few seconds away from the first win in Sweden. Let's just see Tanak over the line then. Good run as well for the Estonian. 3.7 seconds up on Rovanperä. That's a 6:41.1 for Tanak. But yeah, as you say, Taka coming very, very quick indeed. That's 20 seconds now Thierry's dropped to the fastest side. Well, the time's still coming down. I mean, we talked a little bit about road position. They certainly seem to be getting quicker. These guys running further back. I guess as much as anything, they've been able to see how much the guys ahead can push and think, it's, as you say, worth a go.
20, turn 7 right, just cut through. 60, way short, 4 right, good leading job. And crest, right, 30. Leading brake, 7 left, over right, 20, turn 2 left, plus sharp, just off. 50, right, brake, 30, stop, tight, 2 left, cut.
Start up on 2 wheels there as well for Taka. Aaron Johnston pumping out these notes. Busy stage, isn't it, for the pace notes? I mean, you often get that here. There's so much, you know, roadside things to avoid and surface changes. It's a hell of a rally for the co-drivers as well.
Taka's taking some massive cuts. He's really hooking that front right into the shrubbery there, isn't he? It's brave, because you just don't know what's lurking away on the inside of those corners.
Yeah, 1.3 seconds up now on the Tanak benchmark. That's at 6 kilometres, just a couple of Ks to go now.
Open, tight, 3 sharp, touch, 3 narrow, 200.
Really does
Square right
open
off.
out some of this stage. It's close to 130 kilometres an hour in there.
Short 2 left, big off. 50.
Do love that about this rally. Some of the imaginative lines, as you say, not always deliberate, but
30. Nice left hand.
Just giving the hay bale, the bail there on the apex of the corner, a little bit of a nudge. He won't have lost too much time there. Taka's really having a go here.
120,
Get that car back onto, that's where the grip is. There we go.
yeah, let's see. They might have lost a few temps there. It was,
Oh, no,
no, he's
break
definitely
ourselves.
he's onto the vineyards there.
There was a massive concrete block there. That's what I was talking about before. It's so slippy on the brakes once you get into this area. You've just got to be really careful. Taka's just outbraked himself, and again there he's run very, very wide.
I mean,
He needs to tidy this up now.
very, very close to flying through a shed that could have done all sorts of damage. So he did very well actually to avoid it. I mean, I don't know how much control over
It was
the...
that massive concrete block on the floor that would have been the major concern. You give that a clout, pull a wheel off the thing, no problem.
Wow. I mean, it's already been a dramatic start to the rally. Clearly an issue for Thierry Neuville. We'll get to the bottom of that at some point. And Taka, a very, very lucky escape there. Let's take another look. Talk us through this one, Chenny.
So he's outbraked himself, and he's now going, what's the safest way for me to get through it? Look on the right there. He just threaded the car through the needle. He did well there. There was a bit of luck on his side.
A
but
concrete block on the right and a shed on the left that he managed to, as you say.
avoid them both. He did well. He did well to get away with that one.
But unfortunately, it means he's gone from 1.3 down to 1.3 slower.
Yeah, and unfortunately as well, I mean, again, this is what we're talking about. You get onto that, the grip levels are changing, right? So on here, when he's been hitting the brakes and on this kind of muddy section, car will have been stopping quite well. But once you get onto that grass, you hit the brakes, it'll lock up in no time. You've got to brake earlier.
Now, look, we're looking at Josh McAlean here, Chenny, but sadly, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, 4Mo still not moving. Just trying to get the car started just before the stage, but clearly he's going to lose more time here with penalties, of course, as you every minute you are delayed, it's more time lost. So McAlean now running out of position. Oof. And Josh, very, very tentative. And we talked about what a steep learning curve it's going to be for the Irishman. And he's already finding out. He's got the wipers on. I think that's just because he's coming through the water. But he's really, really slippy through here for the Irishman.
Yeah, there's a clear strategy in place for both Josh and Gregoire Munster. It's stay out of trouble, get the car to the finish. You've already seen how quickly it can go wrong with Taka, who was on a push and he was lucky to get away with that.
You talked about it before. This is one of the relatively not too challenging stages, and we've already had an issue for Neuville, some sort of issue for 4Mo. Oh, and that's a very nose-heavy landing for Josh as well. Always so dangerous, isn't it? If you end like the front end, can be a lot of sensitive equipment there. Hopefully he's got away with that. Challenging little stage this one, Chenny, already. Goodness me, Taka.
And like I said, this is nothing compared to what we're going to see. Certainly with regards how rough it's going to be out there. Tomorrow morning, the drivers have got a real challenge on their hands with that 31.4 kilometres of Camp Moran.
Yeah, that's going to be a biggie. Yeah, they've got to get there first. They'll be relieved. This is just a one-off stage. Certainly some of these drivers having a few issues to iron out, but it's the sort of rally, isn't it? I mean, you can drop anything up to, I don't know, half a minute, and you can easily make these times back, can't you?
Absolutely. This is Thierry Neuville's 20.4 seconds down to Oit Tanak in this stage, right? That's not the end of the world on a rally like this. If this was a really fast, flat-out rally, smooth rally, that would be a problem.
Yeah.
It's not. Thierry will be able to...
Especially so early in the rally, you know, a lot of time to make up.
And it's a long rally, nearly 400 kilometres. It's been a while since we've had a rally this long. Most rallies are kind of around the 300 kilometre mark. Tomorrow, just in itself, is over 150 kilometres. So that's half a traditional rally in just one day. So Yeah, it's a massive test.
I guess the key thing for Josh is we just saw how wild that was through that muddy section earlier on, as we sort of mentioned a bit earlier. Don't worry if you feel like you're losing time. Just stay in it, find your your safe place, your rhythm, and what will be will be. And it's all about a learning experience anyway for him, isn't it? You know, coming here for the first time like this. 6.2 down at the 3 kilometre marker. So still Oyt Tanak then with the benchmark after Taka's brush with disaster. 6:41.1 for the Estonian. That's still the time to beat. Still got Sami Pairi to come through just behind, obviously. I was hoping Formo can get that I-20 started. Of course, Munster and Serdaridis then the last of the Rally 1 runners.
Sharp right, slow, 30 over bump, turn 1, cut over bump, bail, 6, 30, lane 3 left, plus 3, 200, at the arrows, line, lane sharp, 2 right, plus wide, 50, stay right, slot.
So 8.4, sorry, down on, that's the time to Tanak. 7.1 is the time to Tanak. That's 8.4, of course, referring to Katsuta's efforts at that point. Now there's the hay bale that Taka. It was an aggressive one from Taka, wasn't it? You could sort of see, unnecessarily, as you say, maybe thinking this is a stage where I can, make big moves.
I think Taka, there you go, you just heard it there from Owen, slippy now,
yeah.
And that's when we get onto this grass. This is at the end of this here, this is where Taka outbraked himself. Back of the car's gone there, he's done well there, that's neat and tidy.
Yeah, you can see how that caught out Taka. That is a tricky corner, and so lucky to avoid that roadside furniture there was Taka. There's the yellow boards. Oof. Very tight to the inside of the corner, but he does complete 7.7 off the pace of Tanak, 6:48.8.
It's all right, stick to the strategy already, like you said. Thierry Neuville has had a problem. We don't know what that is exactly.
Yeah, wonderful footage from these mud holes. Here's the next of our M Sport men. Greg Munster. Louis Luca, of course, on side. Autumn weekend for Greg as well. This is the third safari start. Third safari start for Greg.
Droite 50. Et droite 24 pour pied milieu. 24 pour pied milieu. Sur gauche 25.
There's that mud bath again. It's not a pleasant feeling, is it? All that power you got, you just can't. You're just almost a passenger at times. He says it's almost a skill in its own, isn't it, how to survive these mud holes?
Yeah, absolutely. You'd be surprised how quickly the car slows down once you hit that water as well, though. It's like a natural brake, isn't it? Yeah, for sure. A lot of the time when you hit it at high speed to start with, you can be a passenger. You'll see, and we have seen in the past, cars have got into them and suddenly gone sideways, been pitched sideways and all sorts. So, yeah, again, all part of coming rallying here.
Saw Sammy, I think that was a similar corner, maybe even the same corner to where Thierry was up on 2 wheels earlier. Of course, the bounce of some of these ruts is such high suspension travel, it's almost exaggerated, isn't it? It looks really dramatic, like they're
you've raised the centre of gravity up, so the car's naturally rolling more. So exactly. Once you encourage it, once you put it on 2 wheels and you've got that momentum, because the centre of gravity's high, you've already got that momentum going to try and roll you over. So. Yeah, these are all, again, they're quite low slung, these cars anyway, but that's just physics.
Yeah.
You make it higher, it's more likely to fall over.
Safely through Taka's corner.
That was clean.
Maybe a tweak in Taka's notes, I think, for the run through here on Sunday. Still can't know how he got away with that one, but yeah, he did, which is great to see. So Sammy then, 9 seconds down at that second split at 6 kilometres. That's compared to Tanak. Let's see how he gets on. Yeah, I thought Josh had got close to those poles. He's actually ripped them out. 7.5 down on Tanak.
Yeah, Sammy was really neat and tidy towards the end of the stage there, so he's found a little bit of time back.
Pressure on Sammy just to get a nice result under his belt. Maybe just not taking an all-out risk approach here, which is to be expected.
We're riding on board with Jordan Serderidis. PK, I can tell you, according to my timing screen, Gregoire Munster's not hanging around either. It's only 1.6 seconds down to Tanak at 3 kilometres. I don't think he's going to challenge him for the overall stage victory, but he's going to be there or thereabouts, isn't he?
He's going to be right up there, yeah, absolutely. Great run. And Jordan as well. He's had good form here. Best rally in terms of results for the Greek privateer, 7th 2022, 9th last year. It's all about just getting through the stages as we get through this mud hole.
So you can go to, this is the thing, you can end up losing all the momentum and then the car just washes like that. So you don't want to go into them too slowly either.
Gotta love Fred McClott's pace notes sometimes. Very much an encouraging driver as well as reading the notes, isn't he? For Serderidis, they're quite a pair. Back with Greg Munster then, as you say, really strong run. Yeah, that's the time, remember, compared to Katsuta. Those split times. He's only 2.6 down on Tanak.
Katsuta's going to lose it. Obviously, he lost a load of time where he outbraked himself. We haven't got to that part yet. So this is at 6 kilometres. It was around 7.5 Ks that Taka outbraked himself. Gregoire could be on for a second fastest time here if he can just keep it neat and tidy.
Absolutely. He was 6th after stage 1, so expect the man from Luxembourg to jump up the order as well if he can get through this last kilometre or so safely.
That's where he's got to be careful. Now, he'll have seen Takamoto Katsuta outbrake himself. He'll know this is slippy. Yeah, he's jumped on the brakes nice and early there. He's on the power nice and early as well.
Looks nice and calm, doesn't he, inside the car? Those the yellow boards coming up. It's going to be a really strong run for M Sportsman. Not going to get the stage win.
So he's gone second fastest. Yeah. That's a great drive for
really
Gregoire.
Good run. That's third fastest. Yeah, just behind.
Interesting, Taka. Yeah. So despite that, Taka would have absolutely blown everybody away at this stage.
Yeah, he really would. He really would. 2.3 down then for Greg Munster, but as you say, still a really strong run. Third fastest through this stage so far, 6:41.
Look at the difference in line there. Look how he's got the car set up so much earlier, right on the inside of the corner. Everyone else is much wider. Gregoire, he's found himself easily half a second there, just by having the car set up in the right place before he's arrived into the water.
Yeah, it just goes to show, doesn't it? As I mentioned, get those mud holes right. They can be tricky, but as you just said, easily use them to your advantage as we move on to the first of our Rally 2 runners. Oliver Solberg leading the category. Sweden winner, of course, his home events last month. And nice to see that he's nominating this one. I asked him that question as well yesterday because he's not had the best of luck sometimes here in Safari. So I found it quite interesting because it is a bit of a lottery that he chose to make this one of his nominated rounds. And he said, no, it's good. It's all about the challenge, and it's good to see. These mud holes even more tricky to navigate, you'd have thought, in the Rally 2 cars.
Run wide there, he's left a little bit of time there. Piquet, and again, lost the momentum there. He won't have been happy with that. He'll know that wasn't particularly clean. It all went wrong on the way into the mud hole. Just didn't have the car set up correctly going into it.
Yeah, it's a couple of sections, isn't it, for these early kilometres? 2 huge mud holes. This is what we're referring to. Expect to see this coming up over the weekend. And when we're still having these short sudden showers, we had one here. We're only a few kilometres away from this stage in the service park. So it's not going to get any better anytime soon once you've got that amount of water on the stage, despite the heat of the African sun. Back with Sertori Descent, last of our Rally 1 runners. Sadly, just to update you, I'm sorry to say, so Adrian Formeau is not able to make the start. And what the issue is, it just couldn't get the thing started, which is a rotten luck for a man who really wanted to bounce back after that frustrating outing in Sweden.
Adrian Formeau enormously on the back foot now. It's a real disaster for him. There's a bunch of penalties coming his way.
Yeah, that's sad. I mean, it is very early in the rally, and he can try and claw it all back, but it's the catch-22, isn't it? You don't want to be trying to, force the issue and trying to make up time on a rally like Kenya. So, as you say, right on the back foot, already on day one.
150 mètres, pas trop. OK, 150 mètres, petit. Gauche 15, côte devant, capable, t'as capté nice.
The other problem when you're coming through all those mud holes, you can see on this way the visibility. Once you've got the wipers on, you're smearing mud across the screen, aren't you?
Derrière, deuxième flèche, départ, droite entre deux, très large. Très large. Ferme. Derrière, une flèche, droite entre deux, très large. Ouais, 300 mètres. 318.
There we go, there's that last long straight then before the right-hander at the bottom of the field. Super bien. Says Fred. Wonderfully descriptive co-driver. Zaldivar next in. Had a strong start, didn't he, in stage 1. Second fastest to Oliver, just 1.5 seconds down after that first one.
Oh, we're out of control here. He's lost it going into the mud hole. Yeah, see, this is what I mean. He's gone into the mud hole, and the car's just pitched sideways. So he's had to gather it all up. He's left a bunch of time there. If we can have another look at that, but that's a good example of what happens when you're going into the mud hole. The car was already slightly pivoted towards the right. The momentum was the back of the car was already starting to slide as he went in, and as soon as he was in there, he had no grip at all. And, he had to get it basically turned back around.
He actually did pretty well to avoid. There's quite a few trees in that section. Yeah, so let's take another look then. I think this is that same section, isn't it?
So that look, now you can see the car's all out of shape. There goes the back. He's still got the handbrake on. Now he's got to try and get it rotated the other way. That cameraman's brave. Pay the boy. And there you go. And he's got it turned around and then come back out. But it could all go wrong very, very quickly.
Yeah, so a bit of drama there for.
See, he had loads of opposite lock on trying to get it turned, and he had the handbrake on as well, and just got it out of the mud hole, tidied it back up, but left a little bit of time in there. We'll see a bunch of that across the weekend as well, PK.
Yeah, on his first split, not 3 kilometres. I'm not sure how far in that mud hole in, but he's dropped 4.9 there. I don't know if it might be that section.
Yeah, it's 2. That's about 2.6 kilometres in.
Yeah, he could have been a lot worse there, actually. I mean, it was evasive action, wasn't it, as you say, hanging on the handbrake, flinging around. But yeah, terrific image from outside. He might have got a face full of mud, our cameraman in there, so well done, boys. Anyway, Oliver now getting close to the finish line.
Look how early Oliver's set the car up for that.
Well, that line's actually become a bit easier now because Josh McAlean's ripped out the poles with that tape on the inside there, so you can get a bit more creative. Anyway, it's a 6:59 exactly for Oliver. The first of our WRC 2 runners is through.
Oliver wasn't the tidiest through here either. So look, the back of the car, he's quite a long way offline. He's deliberately trying to avoid that massive mud hole, but he runs quite wide. Then he loses the back of the car and has to get it turned in for the right-hander. And he just left a little bit of time behind there as well. I actually think it was possibly not even that mud hole as we ride on board with Gus Greensmith.
Yeah, a reminder, as you can see from the dash there, of course, Gus is still with in a Skoda, but switching to the race 17 this year, of course, not in Top Sport Run Skoda this year. So that's a new team for Gus as well. A lot of the drivers switching teams as well. Certainly a few car changes, but yeah, that was almost panic stations for a second as well.
He had that. He was really clever. He pulled the handbrake with the steering wheel straight, so he wasn't turning the car. He was just scrubbing speed off, then got back onto the power.
Yeah,
He straightened the car up before he locked the rear. Sorry, PK.
No, I was just going to repeat what we. It is a rally that Gus really excels at. I mean, it's a sort of thinking man's rally. He won here last year in WRC2. He claimed his best ever Rally 1 result here, 4th place a few years back. So he knows how to tackle it.
And bumped into danger sharply right out of a bad kick.
This is this bad kick here. Bang!
We've seen that a few times, haven't we? Yeah, it looks really dramatic, but almost every car has done the same thing. It's a real buckaroo of a kicker.
Open to left right, minus the round base. 50.
And back with Zaldivar, and then the splits as you'd expect after that trip through the mud bath, getting a bit wonky. He's 8.3 down after 6 kilometres.
This is the sort of stage where, like I said, the drivers won't be leaving much on the shelf. They'll be pushing quite hard, and at least I can tell you at 3 kilometres, Gus Greensmith is only 0.4 of a second down on Oliver Solberg. We didn't really ride with Oliver too much towards the end of the stage, did we? So we don't know how clean he was. But setting the pace at the moment.
Yeah, we're only 2 stages in, but already a really positive start for Oliver. First bit of coming through from Gus, though. That's a good, strong start from Greensmith. Just 4/10 down on the Swede, so that's a promising sign. He lost a little bit, surprisingly, Gus, didn't he, in that super special a bit earlier. So Zaldivar does complete. 9.5 seconds off Oliver's time. It's a 7:08.5, but a bit of a wild ride through the mud for the Paraguayan.
Another angle of that mishap in the mud.
A bit more information on the joyless start for Adrian Fourmeau. Sadly, the team already out there to collect him. Maybe a battery-related issue. That's to be confirmed, just to make that clear. But potentially, that's the issue for Fourmeau. And what a sad start that is already for the Frenchman. Okay, we'll get more on that when we come back to the action tomorrow morning at the morning service. Right, an early start tomorrow for the boys. 6:15 first car free service. First stage tomorrow, 7:28 local time. That's another new one, Catamaran, and that sounds like a beast, what all accounts are. Still looking positive, though, for Gus. 3.5 seconds. The gap to Oliver at that 6 kilometre marker. Well, it's a bit tricky, isn't it? I know he's in the same car, but when you're switching teams, there's a little bit of bedding in to do, isn't there? You're different engineers, all that kind of thing. It's not just something that's going to click straight away, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, you've got to get to know the team members, the key team members, how they work. They need to understand how you work. Most importantly, they need to understand how you like to drive the car and how you want it set up. So, there is a little, as you said, just a little bit of bedding in time when you change teams, but the quicker you can do that, the sooner you'll go fast. You know? It's as simple as that. You look at Adrian Fourmeau, he settled into Hyundai very well, hasn't he? And Hyundai and M Sport are inherently quite different teams in the way that they're run as well. And Adrian's settled into Hyundai well. And the faster you can speed up that process, the sooner you'll be on the pace.
Yeah, safety through that corner that was so costly, or almost so costly for Taka Katsuta. Just cost him a couple of seconds in the end. But yeah, you'll want to watch that one again if you haven't caught it. Already some early drama. Just to recap then, Thierry Neuville, we don't know what the issue was. Started off really strongly, but started to look a bit wild through the final couple of kilometres and dropped around 20 seconds. Taka with a really lucky escape as we just watched Gus through. 5 seconds down on Solberg. That's a good solid run for the Englishman. And yeah, really sad news that Adrian Formeau didn't even make the start line of this stage. Still to be confirmed what the issue was, but the team already confirmed. Jan Solens, great to see the Spaniard back in action this weekend. A wonderful breakthrough year last year, didn't he, the 27-year-old? Claiming that first win. He actually claimed that he got the honour of taking the first ever win, didn't he, for the Rally 2 Toyota, did Solans, with that win in Portugal. But a big step into the unknown, the first entry here for Solans in Africa. His wipers on fully. I don't think it's raining, but they're still trying to clean the window from the earlier mud.
Yeah, the mud, it smears is the problem, and then sometimes it just doesn't clear no matter how much water you put on, just continue to smear across the windscreen. There's an awful lot of stuff going on as well. Maybe those windscreen wipers have just been forgotten to be switched off.
Sorry to let a bit of a sudden glance up, Jenny. I just saw the first split through for Kaito Kitanovic. Boy, oh boy, if that's correct. I'll just confirm that as we get Solans through. Solans also looking pretty good. Third fastest through so far at 6 kilometres. That's 4.1 down. But if that first split is correct for Kaito, two-time winner at this level is 3.4 seconds up on Oliver. I mean, I guess that's through that mud bath, so maybe Kaito really is the mudmeister through there. He really made up some huge gains in there, or some clever line that the Polish veterans found. So that's an incredible start to the stage, if that split's correct.
Yeah, we saw Oliver drop a bit of time in the in one of the mud holes. Anyway, I don't actually think it was the replay that we saw, but he was quite a bit out of shape. So yeah. Kaito can continue that momentum and match Oliver's pace throughout the rest of the stage, then it's going to look good for a stage win. Let's see.
Yeah, just the 8 kilometres, just over through here. As Chenny mentioned, we're going from one extreme to the other with that first run through Cap Moran tomorrow morning, 31 kilometres just over. So that's going to be a big step into the unknown tomorrow. Another new one to get us started on Friday morning. And let's just watch Jan through the flying finish. 5.6 seconds down on Oliver Solberg's benchmark, so he slots into third place overall. And up to second in WRC2, as you can see from the left of your screen. Zaldivar, the big loser in this one, with that wild trip through the mud.
Jan was really tidy through here. Look, see, he managed to keep the car right on the apex of the corner, stuck it right in the hole, and then it was really clean on the way out as well.
Yeah.
He didn't leave much time in there at all.
Not at all. Nicely done. I think we can hear from Thierry Neuville, though, Chenny, and let's hear what happens with that issue in this one.
Well, Thierry, a tricky stage, obviously, in there. Can you just give us an update on exactly what the problem is for you, as far as you know?
I don't know. So let's see. The team is going to have a look tomorrow morning. Obviously, only 15 minutes, but yeah, anything else than a good start for us, unfortunately. But it's better today than tomorrow.
Exactly, I was going to say that. If it gets all out the way today, then there is no problem. Obviously, 2 stages down. What have you made? What are you expecting from tomorrow?
First of all, we will focus on the service tomorrow morning, try to get gas fixed and fast again, and then we give it a go.
It's just something about this place, isn't it, PK, with the Hyundai? But what that tells us is it's not a puncture, because he'd have said straight away it was a puncture. That's mechanical with the Hyundai, so they've got some work to do on that car.
And we did see that one moment, didn't he, when he was right up on 2 wheels, started to be fishtailing a lot through the end, but we'll get to the bottom of that one tomorrow morning. Meanwhile, it was a stage win, though, for his Hyundai teammate, Oit Tanak, who just nicked it from Taka Katsuta, who had a very lucky escape, but he comes through 1.1 slower. Greg Munster, terrific run through from the M Sport man, 2.3 down. Callum Rovanperä there in 4th place. Elvin Evans, who had started so strongly, maybe he suffered as the first car on the road, not sure, but he was 5th fastest through there. Sami Pyri then coming through, and a good solid start for Josh McAlean, although he had a bit of a wobble through the mud, as did Oliver Solberg, but he still managed to set the fastest time of the Rally 2 runners. And this is what it's done for the overall classification. All change again after 2 stages. So it's Tanak then who leads, with Katsuta in 2nd. second place, and Greg Munster,
Brilliant.
look at that, for M Sport, up into third place already. Long way to go, of course, but he's just ahead of two-time winner Callum Rovanpera. Elvin Evans in fifth, who had been leading after stage one. Josh McAlinn moving up to sixth place. Good run for the Irishman. Sammy Pyrie seventh. Thierry Neuville, with that technical issue they'll want to fix tomorrow morning, he's got 19 seconds or so to make up. So, what a start that was then for opening day of Rally Kenya. We've already had all sorts going on, but more to come, of course, early tomorrow morning. Make sure you stay with us.